Hello everyone and welcome back to my The Young and Restless 24 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In the Jazz Chesterfield, Diane tells Jack they've demanded time together, shutting out the problems of the world. She questions if he's relaxed. He admits he's nervous about her obliteration plans for the Abbott Grange. She wonders how she can move him to put away his worries and enjoy their time together. Diane kisses him. Jack is trying and needs a many further of those. They make out. Diane tells Jack she's been going back through the libraries of classic products. They just need a clever new marketing strategy to vend them again at a high price point. Jabot Classic can bring in former guests feeling nostalgic, as well as new bones. She asks what Jack thinks, but he's not paying attention. He needs to know what to anticipate at the house. Diane asks why he wouldn't trust her on this. Jack just wants to know what she has in mind. Diane promises he'll love it. Jack is an addict of commodity this important, being shrouded in secretiveness. She said she'd keep him involved in the process. Perhaps this is just a colossal mistake. Diane asks if he really wants her to call it off. She assures him it's going to be delightful, and the emendations are formally passing. She pulls him onto the cotillion bottom. After the cotillion, Jack tells Diane how impressed he's with her plan to make the antique products new again. Diane's agitated as he gushes that the idea is brilliant and bold like his woman. Diane tells her hubby his taste is spot on. Having his blessing means everything to her. Jack is sure Jabot Classic is a good fit for her. It's good to see Jabot back where it belongs, and the family. Indeed, Victor couldn't take that from them. Diane's having a hard time believing that Victor's war with Jack is over. Jack wouldn't let it rattle him. He wouldn't give him the satisfaction. Diane asks if he's not upset he'll cause problems for Claire and Kyle. Jack likes to suppose they can handle old Grumpy. Diane wishes she could borrow the same station. Jack thinks Kyle learned some important assignments and is a stronger and wiser man because of it. Kyle walks into society and Summer says she was just about to call him. They compare notes on the schoolteacher raving over Harrison's diorama. He made sure everyone knew that they worked on it together as a family. They agree it meant a lot to them too. It was delightful. Summer learns he's waiting for Claire and Victor. Supposedly, he's not coming alone. Nikki's going to be joining them. Summer looks slightly taken suddenly, sounds like a big deal. Kyle thinks Claire wants Nikki there as a buffer. They don't need her grandparents' blessing. Summer reminds him that her forefather has his ways of making his opinions known. She notes he didn't have a problem when they were together. She's his granddaughter too. Kyle isn't bothered by Victor's change of heart. He's only doing the regale for Claire's sake, however, it wouldn't change a thing for him and Claire, if Victor doesn't accept him. Kyle walks out and Daniel arrives to meet Summer. Her family asks, is everything okay? Summer insists everything's forfeiture, but Daniel can tell by the way she's looking over at Kyle that commodity is bothering her. Summer asks if he can believe Kyle is meeting Claire and her grandparents there. They're wasting their time. He wouldn't accept Kyle the way he did when they were together. She has no idea why Kyle's going to so important trouble for her. Daniel isn't buying this, not for a nanosecond. Summer assures her family she's not jealous. She feels bad that her forefather has treated Kyle so inadequately. She's not keen on Claire supersizing the fires. Kyle is asking for further trouble if he continues on this path with the former nurse. Daniel tells Summer she's radiating mama vibes right now. Summer gops. As much as she loves their mama, she's cringe when she gets on one of her canine with a bone kicks. Daniel hopes the warning is enough to keep Summer in check. He asks if Summer has heard from Phyllis. He's been calling and texting and hasn't heard back. She asks if this is about the job offer from Billy. Daniel says he accepted it. At the estate, Victor thanks Michael for coming in. Michael's happy to be trusted again. Victor complains that because he and Cole let Jordan out of his pen, she came back to jeopardize his family. Michael says it was his responsibility to watch his reverse. Victor says Ian Ward could have killed him as well, but he stayed with the family. I appreciate that. Michael would have abandoned him. Victor says now that they're out of the picture, he needs to apply the coming phase of his plan to go after Jack Abbott via Jabot. Michael looks unnerved. Victor asks Michael if the Glissade people he hired are bedded at Jabot. Michael confirms they're staying to do his bidding, but he was hoping it wouldn't come to this. He pays him to keep him out of legal snares. Victor doesn't want to hear it. He'll go through with his plans one way or the other. Michael asks if Victor is sure this is commodity he really wants to go through with. Jack, Diane, and Kyle will suffer. Victor says, they've suffered enough. Victor smothers, I'll decide when the Abbotts have suffered enough. Got it? He rants that Jack nearly killed Nikki in that debauchery in the hostel room. Are you with me? Michael says, always. Victor wants him to find out about Jabot's new products. Also he'll concoct his strategy. Claire walks in, so Michael heads out, promising to get that date for his master. Claire kisses her forefather and asks if they were in the middle of commodity important. He replies, business. Claire suggests they all drive to society together. Victor says Nikki will be late. He won't promise to go readily on Kyle. Claire asks him not to caff her swain too intensively. Victor smirks, you know I know. In the Jazz Chesterfield, Diane and Jack slow cotillion and kiss. He thanks her for a perfect evening. Diane teases him about makeup, hammers, and obliteration. He asks if they should go for regale or a walk. Diane says they could go up to their suite and wisecrack around. Jack pulls her out of the Chesterfield. Diane and Jack make love in their suite. After, Jack wants to ask one further time, this redo, this refresh, this zooze, whatever you're calling it, does it involve bulldozers? Diane decides she'll come clean. There's one major change she wants to make. I would like to replace that heavy old frontal door and change it to commodity contemporary. She wants to make antique current, just like a Jabot classic. She proposes a revolving door. Jack scoffs, ha ha ha, you got me again. He'll shut up about the house. Diane will keep his mind off the gash down. He says that's not funny. They start making out. At society, Daniel is surprised Phyllis hasn't told Summer about him joining Abbott Dispatches. He says they gave a hell of a pitch and that he could define what he wanted his position to be. He's agitated and looking forward to brainstorming with them. It may be just the change he demanded. Summer's so happy her family has a new focus. Daniel says Lucy was thrilled too and sounded more at peace. Summer can see some of his inner fermentation is dissipating. Daniel tells his family that Lucy is making new musketeers and crying lower. Now she can stop fussing about him so much. Summer thinks Heather is working her magic from over. She has one concern, still. Daniel suppositions it's Billy being delicate. Summer's talking about him working with Mama without driving each other crazy. Daniel's confident they can do it. They worked well together at Chancellor Winters. Summer worries they're an uncharted home now. Daniel is unbothered. Summer thinks it sounds nearly too good to be true. Just also, Claire walks in. Daniel suggests Summer choose to remain auspicious and keep stopgap, like him. Victor comes by and kisses Summer before asking Daniel how he and Lucy are doing. They shake hands and Victor and Claire join Kyle at the bar. Victor shakes Kyle's hand. Kyle directs them to their table as Claire explains Nikki will be late. Across the room, Daniel tells Summer, who's watching, that she's radiating Phyllis vibes again. She says she's just noticing how miserable Kyle looks. Daniel asks why she cares if she's not jealous. At Kyle's table, he talks up the menu specials. Victor tells him to apportion with the small talk and get to the point. Across the room, Summer tells Daniel that Kyle is the father of her son, that's why she's concerned. Her grandpa will do anything to get his way. If he hurts Kyle, it could hurt Harrison as well. This isn't romantic. Daniel calls it like he sees it. Summer says they both know that Victor will make both of their lives miserable. It's what my grandpa does. It'll trickle down to Harrison, who'll smell the pressure. Daniel reminds her the spread is tough. Summer's job is to cover her son. She tells her family how happy he was the other day having his parents together. He's feeling secure again and she doesn't want him fussing about anything differently. Daniel still questions if she has some kind of passions for Kyle. Summer says her forefather is ruthless. Would he not be bothered if Lucy were in Harrison's shoes? At Victor's table, he tells Kyle how defensive he's of his family. He'll give him the benefit of the mistrustfulness that he wouldn't do the same damage to Claire that he did to his other granddaughter. He realizes Kyle was each at fault in his marriage falling piecemeal, but he knows there will be another implosion in the Abbott family and he doesn't want his other granddaughter to suffer from the fallout that's about to be. Kyle says that's guess. Victor says, no it isn't. Kyle insists his family is united. Victor tells him the reason he's expostulating to his relationship with Claire is because of his family. Daniel tells Summer he can see her point. He's sure Victor will make Kyle and Claire's lives miserable and it could come back to Harrison. But he's sure Kyle will cover his son and Victor will too. Summer opines that occasionally good intentions aren't enough. Daniel's sure Kyle and Claire wouldn't break up just because Victor wants them to. That's why Summer's sure it'll get a lot more complicated than that. Across the room, Claire thinks Victor is being illegal. How can he condemn Kyle because of his parents? He's grounding his opinion on effects that may not be. Victor grunts, trust me, they will. Kyle admits he acted lower than admirably toward his parents and let his more ruthless side come out at his prodding. He notes that Victor used him. But he can separate all that from his relationship with Claire. He feels deeply for her and she feels the same way about him. They'll pursue a relationship anyhow of Victor's opinion, but he'll ask if there's anything he can do to negotiate that thing. Victor intones, there's nothing you can do to negotiate that thing.